Thomas Arnold was born in Lebanon, Pennsylvania on November 30th, 1945. His mother was a nurse and his father worked as a mechanic bus driver in the bus garage, and his main occupation was at the VA hospital. Arnold grew up with his younger brother, Richard. Richard was 10 years younger than he was. Before he joined the services, Arnold was in high school. After he graduated, he married his wife, Rose Houts, and joined the Navy a week later. When asked why he chose the Navy, Arnold explained,
My assistant manager at that store was just happened to be the Navy recruiter. So he talked me and my cousin, and he was a year behind in school, to join the Navy. So I graduated in June of 1963, and I joined the Navy July the 10th of 1963.
Arnold joined the Navy under a plan that specified he would get out the day before his 21st birthday because he was under 18. Richard, Arnold's brother, was sent out of the services with a medical discharge when he was found to have heart murmurs. Arnold attended the Navy boot camp in Great Lakes, Illinois. The camp was north of Chicago and only one of the two which was accepting new recruits. When he began boot camp, Arnold was homesick for a week or so. Eventually, he got over the homesickness and adapted to his new lifestyle. His least favorite drill was marching on the drill field, but he disliked waking up early even more. Arnold believes that kids nowadays may not be able to join the services as soon as he had. There is a high level of respect that is required to have a part in the services, as well as a lack of time for video games and goofing around. After boot camp, Arnold came home for 2 weeks before traveling to the electronics school in Memphis, Tennessee. He attended school for 9 months before heading to Norfolk, Virginia to take orders. His orders were to go to Rota, Spain, where he served a 2-year term at the air station. During his time at the air station, he worked on loading passengers and cargo for the planes and witnessed many strangely designed aircraft. Arnold also made some friends when he was in the service. 5 people he graduated with were there as well. Some of them went into the medical field, but Arnold did not think he could handle blood. He kept in touch with them and still does occasionally. He met some good people in Memphis and Rota who he often hung out with when he wasn't busy with things in the service. Eventually, Arnold slacked off on writing letters and rather made an occasional call when he got to Rota. He is unsure if he still has any letters in old boxes, but there is a chance that he kept a few. During his free time, he attended dances and meetings at the USO Club. He wasn't one for tourism while he was in Milwaukee, but when he arrived in Rota, he spent the weekend at the beach resorts with acquaintances. He watched the occasional bullfight and traveled to the Rock of Gibraltar. The Rock of Gibraltar was an island on the tip of Morocco as well as a home to gorillas. When a plane would land on the Rock of Gibraltar, the roads would have to be closed down because of how narrow it was. Arnold played a lot of fast-pitch softball there. During his service, Arnold felt the war was something that needed to be done. He had no problem with it and fully supported it. There weren't many protesters back then, as compared to today. When the war ended, he was already safely home. He was going to stay in the Navy longer, but he did not make the cut for going to Vietnam. The day he returned home, his family was happy to see him again. In some of the bigger cities, there were some issues, but none that impacted him. Arnold found it easy to return to a civilian lifestyle. Before he got out, he talked to his uncle, who got him a job, which started the Monday after he arrived at home. He worked here for 5 years before switching to Med-Ed. Working at Med-Ed reminded him of the services which he disliked. He left there and eventually drove tractor-trailer for Wengert's Dairy for 38 years. He retired and now works part-time as a security guard at Hershey Park.